we would like to welcome Dhananjay, Buva, and Pradnya Patil, who are going to present this lightning talk. Dhananjay has an experience leading and coaching functional performance, security, and automation testing teams, and DevOps. Pradnya is a software engineering lead at Arezzosky India, Pune, passionate about testing and an enthusiastic scrum master who believes in learning through experimenting. Over to you, Dhananjay, the poet.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks APA GPR organizers for this opportunity. So here we are presenting an approach that we use for testing of a IoT platform as a service and a telematics project. So one of our clients, they are big provider of a big cloud platform as a service. This platform is live, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to enhance this platform to support IoT PaaS and telematics. So this was a big project that provided us many learnings, and hopefully in the given time we can share them well. So Pradnya, can you move on to next slide? So as you can see on the screen, we faced many challenges during this project. But from the perspective of this audience, I believe the biggest challenge was that there was no UI. And while we testers, we are used to using say Selenium and testing via UI route. And there are little skills to do continuous big data testing and automation. And on top of it, the changes were in live production platform. And this means a lot depends on performance and compatibility. At the same time, it was expected to keep the ROI, basically considering the data growth and operational cost in mind. It was expected that ROI will be in control. So a few months after we started the project, right, we realized that this doesn't fit normal SDLC or the Scrum processes that we were following. And this required much more agility, varied test data, responsiveness, and collaboration. So we followed an approach that touched areas of development, continuous testing, be it functional or non-functional, data warehouse testing, processes, DevOps, and we call this approach a holistic approach. And I hope you will find it. Now, can you move on to next? So this is a very basic project architecture. So as you can see, the first block is clients implementation and their mobile apps. And this is the next block that was our main scope, which consists of a queue followed by a data warehouse. So this seems very simple, but it was pretty complex. And as you can see, there is no UI. Now, can you move? So yeah, this is the basic self-explanatory slide, which is a typical ETL kind of flow for data warehouse. I will not talk about this much, but I want everyone to keep this in mind because this will tell you the understanding of future presentation. So yeah, as you can see, the holistic approach that we followed, it consisted of 4 broad areas. First is functional, then system testing, non-functional testing, and processes or DevOps part. So functional tests, we developed them using Excel, database queries, and API tests. They helped us basically verify the accuracy. They were manual, semi-automated, or even at times automated using Excel macros. So in overall project, right, Excel played very key role in developing exploratory testing, our understanding of the data, build variations in the data, and relating the level of each metric, to data. Then later came the big part, which is system tests or big data tests. They dealt with variety, volume, and velocity of the data. We created a Python-based automation framework, used a lot of statistics and probabilities basically to complete this testing. And on top of it, we built some visualizations, which were very helpful. So throughout this testing and development, we used extensive log analytics, alerts mechanisms, and diagnostic files, and all of them helped us get very fast feedback. Even this testing framework as well touched all these things and derived various relationship between data and the logs and all these things. and helped us create a system-wide test data as well. So that's why we call this as a system testing. Now, some more background to understand how this framework helped in overall business goals. So there were in all 4 kinds of metric divided into different categories. First category is like based on capture mechanism. So there were 2 capture mechanisms, event based and non-event based. And the other category is based on data needs or demand. And they included categories like scheduled and on demand. So non-event is like fetching the data using say API. And I think REST terminologies are self-explanatory. So this framework was extensively used to fine tune the frequencies, schedules, and classification of all these metrics. And it helped us find the requirement as well. Of course, helped us find defect and gaining confidence also. But performance and security, these are important areas. And as I mentioned earlier, performance was the biggest part of this project. And in the interest of time, I will not talk much on that. Similarly, compatibility was a big aspect over here. The only thing I will add for compatibility, keeping IoT perspectives in mind, is whenever new attributes are getting added to a new already existing metric or attributes are getting deleted, keep the compatibility aspect in mind. So separate testing infrastructure was created to manage all this testing. CI/CD pipelines were created. There were small daily releases within this infra. For production, there were monthly, bi-weekly, or at times even daily releases. There was an auto upgrade pipeline for production data warehouse upgrade, and that was without any downtime. So data warehouse was extensively tested in all aspects, and that actually forms the most important part of this project. The disaster recovery being the topmost challenge. Also, some canary tests were done in production, and the results were used for further improvement analysis. And at the same time, a lot of controls, we use them to enable or disable various metrics.
You have 1 minute, Dhananjay.
Yeah. So now if you compare this slide, right, with the earlier data flow slide, you will see that there is a lot of feedback in this slide. There is data encryption in the transfer phase. There is diagnostics during ingestion and mail alert everywhere. And there is reporting mechanism. So after this framework was built, our maximum testing turnaround time for all layers, it was like 4 hours. Yeah, I will hand over next slides to Pradnya. Thanks.
Thank you, Dhananjay. So these are the visuals that we had derived from the data that we fetched. So look at the actual image and pattern and trend. You can see that both the visualizations have some days wherein the data has surpassed the outliers. These are the special things that need some further analysis. Similarly, missing data also needs some kind of analysis. You will also be able to see various descriptive stats like median, min, counts, outliers, etc. here. One thing to add, for us, there was no data scientist in the team, but for a person with some statistics knowledge, there will be a lot of learning added with these kind of graphs. On the next visuals, you can see in the first chart, there is a straight horizontal.
Time is up, 8 minutes is up. So if you want to wrap up, you can quickly.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm just wrapping up. So you can see these two trends wherein there is a drastic change in the trend, right, in the second graph. And that is where a person needs to really look into what triggered this kind of change. The last thing I wanted to mention is, for many testers, when we discussed about IoT, the testing challenges that we heard from the survey also that we conducted was simulating the data from multiple interconnected sensors. Well, I would say that it's just a tip of an iceberg, very initial part of the IoT tests. For the entire project to succeed and even to recover expenses from the initial part, we need to really treat this kind of projects as data science projects, understand the business goals.
This is 9 minutes up actually.
Yeah,
so we would have to
and
request
that's
you to
all.
end.
I mean, yeah, we are done actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Pradnya, as well as Dhananjay.